All right, Shalom Akim.
Shalom.
All right, first and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. The monster, apostle, and elders, great millstone, rule well through the spirit. Peace and blessing to the whole for elect. All right, the house of David. It's 144,000 men that are from 12,000 from each tribe. They're preaching and living the word of sincerity and truth, scattered out the four corners of the earth. Also, peace and blessings to the 1/3. Okay, that peaceful multitude of believers, men, women, and children that shall believe on that song being spoken about the elect in the last days. All right, peace and blessings on you as well. So, brothers and Jim S. Dallas, back with another class, Saturday class through the Spirit and Power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And so the water for hanging with us today, and breaking bread with us in the spirit. So we're going to go into second Ezra, the 7th chapter. Okay, we're going to go through the first 35 verses because there's 70 verses in total. So we will, this in the spirit, precepts and brothers' points. We'll be here all day, with that, a couple hours. So we're just gonna go through the first half, and then Lord willing, we have the ability to bless the ability to teach again. We'll go through the last 35 verses as well, but we're just gonna go through the first 35 today. Okay. So I just want to go through this because a lot of it is relevant to this time. There's prophecy in it. There's ways, and there's it's a blueprint, especially in the beginning, on what needs to be done in order to receive salvation and get to the kingdom. Which who is the kingdom for? All right, it's only for Israel. That's who the world was made for. It was made for our sakes according to the scriptures. Okay, and the kingdom was only set up for Israel. Now other nations will be there, but Israel is going to rule. Israel is going to have dominance in that time according to prophecy. And that's what the scriptures all talk about throughout the Old Testament and New Testament. So it lays out a blueprint for what needs to be done, but also it's prophecy. It prophesies about Yahushua, and it's really a lot of things being revealed to Esdras. Because when you read first and second Esdras, particularly the second Esdras, a lot of things are revealed to him because he was on a high level, because he fasted, he prayed, he always communicated with the Most High. And he was in such a heavy spirit that the angel, I believe it was the angel Uriel, was sent to reveal certain things unto him because he was so heavy in spirit. He fasted for so long, man. So that's a good thing to follow out as well. More fasting and affliction, and the Most High will reveal those things unto His people as well in the portion that's allotted to Him. But without further ado, we're just gonna go ahead and get into a chapter, and Lord willing, it's edifying for Akim. So go ahead and start this time for me, bro.
The second Ezra, chapter 7, verse 1. It said, "And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the nights before."
Right. So I believe it was Uriel. Okay. So he made it into speaking because when you read, Ezra's been doing a lot of fasting, and then when he talks to the angel, gets revealed, Barakatah, he'll be instructed to fast more, and then he will come unto him again. Okay. And I just posted in the chat. Not tonight. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 2, "And he said unto me, Up, Esdras, and hear the words that I am come to thee. And I said, Speak on, my power. Then said unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow, and like a river."
Right, so that sea he's talking about is the similitude of the kingdom. Okay? It's like, read verse 3 one more time.
Verse 3, it says, "And I said, Speak on, my power. Then said unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great."
Right, deep and great, as the kingdom is going to be. The kingdom is, like it says, likened unto the kingdom. It's going to be deep and great, full of abundance, enough for everyone, to win. That's why Scripture said, "I have not seen nor have ear heard the things that the Most High have in store for those that love Him." So that sea is going to be deep and great, as the kingdom is going to be. Go ahead.
Verse 4, "But put the case, the entrance were narrow, and like a river.
Go ahead.
Who then could go into the sea to look upon it, and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad?"
Right, so if you can't get into, like I said, that's how most seas are. There are smaller rivers that are tributaries unto them. So he's saying if you wanted to take a boat route to get to the sea, you first had to go through that river, that narrow river. And what's going to happen? There could be twists, turns, certain areas where rocks are, certain dangers, or a lot of tight turns. Could be quick in one portion of it, and it could be slower in one other portion. So it's just likened this unto a journey to the kingdom. Go ahead.
Verse 6, There is also another thing. A city is set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things.
Right, so it's another similitude for the kingdom. We in the second chapter. Okay, so this is another parable for it. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 7. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water.
Right, so that's the spirit. We actually went to some of this last night at camp. Okay, but this is the pathway to the kingdom, man. This is talking about also that straight gate. If one person hold John 10 and 1, and also Matthew 7 and 13. Okay. If you can start up real quick over at verse 7 again, because like I said, man, because this is a similitude of how to get to the kingdom. This is the pathway to the kingdom. Okay, and the way he's describing it is you're gonna have to go through a lot of tribulation to get to that, man. You know, that narrow way. Start over at verse 7 again.
Back in 2 Ezra 7 and 7, said the entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water.
Okay, go ahead.
It says, verse 8, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be one man go there at once.
All right, so that path is so narrow that it's only going to be one man to go at a time, man. You know? So like I said, we talked about this last night, to where you have to follow the steps of a man that's in front of you, and a man will follow steps behind you as well, man. You know? But it's so narrow that you have no choice but to work out your own salvation, keep your own balance at the end of the day. Now, the brothers in front of you, brothers behind you, or where spiritually how that line will go, you know, you can use that brother's balance sometimes for counsel, things like that. But ultimately, it's up to you to be fully persuaded in your own mind to have faith and work out your own salvation, you know. Grab Matthew 7:13 from Bubba.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way.
Right, into the straight gate, okay? And that word straight, as we always going to, that's S-T-R-A-I-T. It means a position of difficulty. Okay, this truth ain't no cakewalk, especially in the up and coming times that we're coming into, man. Okay, we're coming to Jacob's trouble, persecution, the hour of temptation. Hell, even this vaccine they're about to force on people. You know, they already have it out, and people are dying from it, you know, having serious side effects from it and everything, you know. But that's what times that we're coming into. Your job may start becoming in jeopardy, starting with this vaccine, then with the microchip, okay? And then persecution from our people as well. You know, so that's all the difficulties that we're going to go to. As the scripture said in Acts, through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom. Right. You know, but a lot of Jake don't want to go through that, man. You know, Jake wanted to take the easiest most easiest course of less resistance as possible, man. Because they want everything easy. Because they for some reason Jake is self-entitled. They selfish as hell. But it's all according to the spirit, man. You know.
Okay. This is Proverbs chapter 4. I'm going to start at verse 23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Put away from thee a forward mouth and perverse lips far from thee. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Like a horse with those blinders is looking straight up there. It only sees what's in front of it.
Right.
Okay? It says in verse 26, ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. And that makes me think about the straight gate. You know, even though that straight, like you said, goes into that position of difficulty, but he pretty much, when you look at it, you can liken the scripture to a tightrope. And if you're too busy looking over here or too busy over there, you know, then your feet is leading, pretty much as allegory for walking in different directions that are on the right. You know, but if your eyelids are straight forward and you look straight on, then you're in tune to the objective that's at hand.
Right, your focus, you got that tunnel vision, like I was referencing with that biker boys. Yeah. That's why Smoke was a king of Cali. You know, giving everybody that smoke. Why? He had that tunnel vision. They even showed the different camera angle. He didn't give a damn about the spectators. He didn't give a damn about the people cheering. All he saw was that finish line, that objective. And he saw it zoom in, man. Yep. But even, you know, sometimes you drive, you know, you look and check your blind spot, you look to the right or left, you accidentally go into that lane real quick, like, oh shit.
Yep.
You know?
That's a good point.
So that's that focus. That's perfect what this brother brought out in that scripture, man. You know? Look straight on, you know?
Yeah. I got something.
Okay.
Sirach 18 and 27, a wise man will fear in everything, and in the day of sinning he will be aware of offense, but a fool will not observe time. You know, like you was going into, basically we walking in our overthrow, you know what I'm saying? We gotta watch how we walk, you know?
That's right.
And the wise man is gonna watch how he, you know what I'm saying, is moving, man. You know?
You're gonna watch your steps, you're gonna watch the path you walk, you know? You're gonna continuously, you're gonna pay attention, man. Just like that's why those tightrope, those people walking tightropes in the circus, that's why there's not that many people doing it in the world, because it takes the amount of focus and dedication it takes to master that type of skill, man. And that's the same type of skill that we've been blessed with through the Spirit, Lord, will we maintain it, you know, because not everyone can do this, you know. Let's go back to Matthew.
Okay, Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
Right. Wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, to where everyone else is going, you know. That's why Scripture said, "Follow not a multitude to do evil," because everyone else is in that broad way. Christianity, even some groups and call themselves Israelites, man. They're nothing but American Israelites, Christian Israelites, but according to a Christian doctrine, man. Call them different name, you know. Want everything easy and quick. You know, they trying to set up shop here, set up a kingdom here, man. They don't really want to go through anything. They don't really want to be ostracized or have any persecutions. Why? That's going to hurt their money and their numbers. Because they're not focused on the will Yahweh Shem Shai. They're focused on themselves. You know, so when yourself, you don't want to go through nothing, man. You know. You got something?
I got one too.
And I got one too.
This is
See,
Proverbs.
that's why we only gonna go through 35 verses.
This is Proverbs 22 and 5. It says, "Thorns and snares are in the way of the forward. He that do keep his soul shall be far from them."
He that keep his soul should be far from it, man. Why? Because what is that difficulty and destruction is in the way for them that are forward, meaning going the way backward from the will of your Father. But those that are willing to we read that last part again?
It says, "He that doeth keep his soul shall be far from them."
Right, he keep his soul shall be far from that in judgment wasn't in the way of that, you know? And how you do it, you discipline yourself now, and you go through those things now, so that way in the end, that's when the easy stuff comes. That's when you can relax. That's when you can enter into that rest that the scriptures talk about. You know, you're willing to go through those things now versus that's the end result for forward people is hardship, you know? See, y'all both have something as well?
Come. Sirach 13 and 13. Observe and take good heed, for thou walkest in the peril of thy overthrow.
Observe and take good heed, man. That's what we always bring up, man. Pay attention, man. Have prudence in your life, you know? Because we walk in the peril of our overthrowing. So pay attention and have your mind focused. Because like I said, you on that tightrope, man. But the minute you get to slacking off and think about other things, that's when you start bouncing, and that's when that fire and that water starts to get a hold of it, you know? So you have one teacher?
Con.
Yeah.
You know, we're going into the straight gate, right? And if it's a straight gate, you can only pack so much with you. And that's baggage, right? Like you're going into your mentality, that old man, because that's that wide way with all that baggage. So when you brought that point out, what you said, this makes me think about this precept here in the book of Matthew, chapter 19, and I'm going to read verse 23. Because rich doesn't always necessarily having money. You know, you can be rich in anything. Rich is abundance and access. You know, this is Matthew chapter 19, verse 23. Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, "Verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. And again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of the Most High." And when you go into that needle, you know, that's not talking about obviously a needle with a little loop around, you know, but back in certain areas when there was travelers and people that came with abundance, you can only fit so much through that little wall, through that little space to enter into that kingdom. That eye of the needle really represents a very narrow entrance. And when they came and all that baggage on their camel, they would have to take that off. So this makes me think about the straight gate, what we're going into right now. And those riches could be that access that's not needed. Whether it's pride that you deal with, whether it's, you know, whether it's something that got to be mortified. Right. All right. It can't come with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why Yahushua said it's easier for a camel to go to the eye of the needle than a rich man or a man with much access that's not needed to enter into the kingdom of heaven. And that's the straight gate.
Right. Because all those things, all the baggage, that's baggage of the world, man. Right. Those things that gave you wins in the world. No matter what, like the brother said, no matter what it is, man. You know, that's why you mortify your members. Or he says it's better to go into the kingdom main
Right.
than go into the gates of hell whole. You know, who's he paraphrasing, you know? Go ahead, Matthew.
Matthew chapter 7 and 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat.
All right, many there be that go in there, right? Okay, so most of the world is gonna walk into destruction, along with 2/3 of our people, man. Okay, only the elect is gonna go unscathed. You know, like I said, 144,000 the house of David with the believers, man. Everyone else is either gonna be destroyed or gonna walk into slavery, man. You know, and that's a lot of people. You know, that's why the scripture says the slain of the Lord shall be many.
Right.
He's got a lot of killing to do.
That's right.
You know,
That's
I
right.
got a quick one, bro.
okay.
It's a Rock 5 and 2. Follow not thy own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart. Like you were saying, you know what I'm saying, going into that broad way is following your own heart, man. You know, we should be following, like the scripture say, the laws are like a lamp, man. It guides us on that path, man, on the way we should move.
Right, that's right. Right, especially in this world of darkness, because gross darkness has covered the people. Because that's the ways of the white man. Follow your own heart, be your own God, just do it, fulfill the flesh. All these different things are doctrines contrary to the scriptures, man. And most of the world follows after that same song, versus the song we sing. You know, was that it on Matthew?
You want to keep going? It's a couple more. It's one more.
Okay.
All right, verse 14, back in Matthew 7 and 14, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it.
Right, few that be that find it. The elect, who we're out here for, who we're teaching to, who we're edifying, man. Okay, the scripture say the Lord shall be a small sanctuary, shall be a small sanctuary amongst us. Okay, so again, that word straight, that point of difficulty, there's gonna be a few good men that's gonna find that, man. Okay, everyone else, they don't want to go through that fire. They don't want to go through that heat, man. They don't want to go through those things, man. You know, that's what they looking for numbers. They looking for quantity over quality. You know, let's get on that. Okay, let's get that John 10 real quick.
This is John 10 and 1. He says, Verily, verily, I say unto you.
Right, because they're trying to go some other way, man. There's only one way. Scripture said, one Lord, one faith, one baptism. You know, so there's only one way to get to the kingdom. But you have other groups that are trying other ways, man. Trying to set up a kingdom here, trying to say they're gonna be in the kingdom, trying to tell their congregation that there ain't gonna be no trouble, tribulation. It's like, nah, bro, you got to prepare your flock for the punches that are coming.
That's right.
Otherwise, it's gonna be an ultimate club punch. They don't even see it. You know, that's worse when you see them boxers get ready to throw a punch and the dude done already caught him with that check hook. You didn't even see it coming. You know, that motherfucker asleep. You know, now you and me on social media. You know, go ahead, bro.
It says, Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber.
Right, some other guys are thieves and robbers, man. If you're not trying to climb up the circle, if you're not trying to come to that straight gate, you're equated with a thief and a robber. Go ahead.
Verse 2. But he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice. And he calleth his own sheep by name. He leadeth them out. And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him.
Right, so the right sheep will follow you, man. You'll be leading the hell your father's elect, because that door is your house shot, man. You know? The scripture say, let this mind be you, which is also in your house shot. Your house shot didn't have no cakewalk on planet Earth. They were trying to throw him off cliffs. They lied on him. They eventually won that time in the Roman captivity and killed him. You know, had him killed.
Right.
You know, Yahushua was a man acquainted with grief. You know, and only had 3 years of the ministry.
Right.
You know, had a gray hair, stressed out over Jake. You know, you had to go through those things, but you gotta suffer. But it's also you gotta suffer for righteousness, because you can suffer for wickedness as well, man. You know, you gotta be willing to stand up and have integrity for the right things, which a lot of these groups aren't.
Right.
You know, they're just not chosen and set up. You know, everybody got a role to play. Go ahead.
At the end of verse 4, John 10 and 4, it says, For they know his voice, and a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him. For they know not the voice of strangers.
Right, and that's the elect, man. The actual elect coming to the fold. They're not gonna listen to these other groups. That's why we always say, even we give them that. There may most likely some of the elect amongst these other groups. They eventually gonna be like, oh hell no. you know, and they're gonna come under the banner of the true doctrine, man.
Right.
Which happens the apostles of Great Millstone teach, and who was set up, you know. Go ahead.
Verse 6. This parable spake Yahushua unto them, but they understood not what the things they were which he spake unto them.
Okay, that's pretty much on the point on that. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 7.
This is back in 2nd Ezra 7, verse 8. It says, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go through at once.
Mm-hmm.
If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance?
Right, how you gonna receive the inheritance if you're not willing to go through those things? You're not. You know, you're gonna be equated with a thief and a robber, looked at as a liar, and then you're gonna be pretty much put out there, man, put on Front Street, and then you're gonna be judged. You know, so you're not gonna get those things, man. Like I said earlier, the scripture says, through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom. So if you're not willing to, like the apostle Wakar say, you excuse my language, you gotta be willing to fuck the heat, man.
Yeah.
You got to bring that on, man. That's the same mindset the apostles had when they got beaten and persecuted, was told not to teach in the name of Yahushua. They gloried in that they were worthy to take that beating.
That's right.
To be persecuted, man. So you got to be willing to go through those things.
Come.
Go ahead,
Mind if I bring out a quick point just to add to what you were saying?
Please.
Something to remember too for those of y'all that are listening in. All right, because the brother brought up the point how the apostles say fuck the heat. This is heat, water on one side, fire on the other side. But look at it like this too. This is here to try us. But one thing we have to know is the Lord is with us in all. All right, like for example, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. We talked about it at camp yesterday. The Lord was with them in the fire. And we always use that as allegory for our trials and tribulations, as the priest just elaborated to right now.
Right.
All right. The Heavenly Father is most definitely indeed with us, man. All right. It ain't that because, you know, it's going to be so much hell in certain times that we go through whatever. You know, there's certain times where you're like, man, Lord, please help me. Even Yahushua, when he got delivered up, you know, he said, Father, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? You know, and obviously we know he wasn't forsaken, but that was a lesson for us today. That's why the scriptures say what? All things are written aforetime were written for our learning. These are stuff that we look at when we are in those dire situations, and to know that the Lord is definitely with you. Right. Psalms 91 says his angels ain't going to let you dash your foot against the stones. You ain't going to get dashed against the stones, man. Quick precept. This is Isaiah 43, and I'm going to start from the top. The key point is in verse 2. It says, but now thus saith the Lord that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I am redeemed in thee. And it's easy to fear when you on a tightrope and it's danger on this side and even more danger on the other side when you see it. Okay? But he said, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee. And through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. You know, and it's easy to look at it when you're looking at this tightrope and there's fire over here, water over here. Obviously, it's allegory for this tribulation, but the Most High is with us with that, man. You know, but it's still a straight gate. It's a tight rope.
That's right.
You got it, brother.
No, beautiful walk, bro. Yeah, but we've seen all those examples, you know. That's why you read Sirach, the 2nd chapter. He says, how any of them, did he leave anyone stuck out there that called upon him? No, man. He rescued them because they had complete faith and relied on him, man. And that's even when you read in the second, what's that, Zechariah 13:9, he said, I will bring the third through the fire.
Right.
So we're not going to be burned. He's going to bring us through it. As he referenced the song of the three holy children, right. You know. So, and just like we're going into what he's equating the kingdom to, you're going to catch hell, but there's a huge sea of abundance on the other side of that. You know, so the story just don't end in catching hell and getting towed off the bone. Right. It ends with us going into the kingdom. You know. And then it doesn't end from there. It's eternity. Right. Immortality, you know? Is that it on that? All right, let's go back to the 2nd Ezra.
Back in 2nd Ezra 7 and 10, it says, and I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion.
Right, this is Israel's portion, man. That's our portion, man. Okay? To go through these things, to go through 360 degrees of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, you know, for the elect. To get to the objective. What is that? The kingdom. Our own kingdom, where we have sovereignty, rulership, and we have a righteous living on the planet Earth where we can just be and exist.
That's right.
So this is what's set up for us, man. You know, so and then sometimes you get weak in the spirit, Satan try to suit you, but hey, this is what we always gotta continuously remember, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is what you're fighting for. All right, go ahead.
Verse 11, 2 Measures 7 and 11. Because for their sakes I made the world, and when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done.
Right, so somebody grab Sirach 17 and 17 and Genesis 3 and 17. Okay, you can grab that first for Bible show.
Now this is Sirach 17 and 17. For in the division of all the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people, but Israel is the Lord's portion.
Right, so each people, each nation had to have their kings and respective lines and rules over them, but the portion, the real ruler over Israel is the Lord. Okay?
That's right.
And that's why he made the world for our sakes, man, because we're his people, and that never changed, man. And it's not going to change, no matter what these people say, no matter what type of BS they try to come with, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. We know what we believe, we know what we've been assured of, and we're going to see who's right at the end of the day. You know, and we have full faith and assurance that we are right, which is why the men of this particular doctrine is going so hard, because of that belief and assurance.
That's right.
I'll go and grab that Genesis 3, 17.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 17.
Right, because if I can say this real quick, he said, because when Adam transgressed his statutes, there was the decree that now is done. What was that decree? That we was going to have to start going through tribulation, because we had the kingdom at first. We was in the garden, chilling, you know, in paradise. And then what happened? That serpent came in, got to his woman, and evicted. Get your ass out of here,
Right.
you know. And we go fit and read about that. That's what happened. That's when the decree had, and that's when all the hardship started. Go ahead, bro.
Genesis chapter 3, and verse 17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree, of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it.
Right, the tree of good and evil. Okay, go ahead.
Cursed is the ground for thy sake, in sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life.
Right, curse is our ground, man. You know, when you have that ground, that represents what? Land in abundance. You know, we have land and you know, those things. Those are riches, man. Because you can grow crops from it. You can till the land. You know, you have livestock, all those different things. That's real riches, man. But that was cursed because he listened to that woman. You know, and that tree isn't talking about an apple, as people say. It's always philosophies.
Right.
At the end of the day, you know, different doctrines and beliefs of the gods, and you start eating of that from Eve. You know, go ahead.
And if I could just say, from like, Lord, he cursed the land to land Israel, and that's why it looks so desolate right now.
Yeah, that's right. Because the rightful rules aren't there. You know, they don't know how to take care of it, man. Go ahead. Time. Yeah, read to verse 19, Baba Shah.
Verse 18. Thorns also in the thistles. It's like that.
It's okay.
Verse 18 again. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweet of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou
Let's just say,
return.
yeah, sweat.
Sweat. It's like, in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground, for out of it was thou taken.
Right, so until you die, you're going to have to work now. You're going to sweat, you're going to be aching, you know, everything is going to come by hardship, man. You're going to have to earn everything now, because you was given everything at first, but you messed up, you know? You didn't listen, and that's Israel's MO, you know, to this day, you know? Not listening. No, is that verse 19?
Yeah, that was the middle of verse 19.
That was the middle?
Yeah.
Okay, you finish that out.
Middle of verse 19. For out of it was thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return.
Right. So point is, man, hey, that's when he transgressed. That was that decree started. So this is our portion. You know, since it was messed up way back in the garden, this is our portion. That we're gonna have to earn this now. You know, we ain't gonna get it by any other means. You know, Jake don't want that hardship, but hey, that's the only way.
It's the only way.
That's the only way. You're going to not love your lives unto death, and you're going to really have some cojones in that day through the Spirit. The Most High is going to have to be with you.
That's right.
You know. Okay, let's go back to secondaries. Unless anybody had a precept or anything.
I got one.
Okay.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
All right, so it's part of curses, man. Being disobedient, that's what happened. Our land cursed, and we're gonna be tributaries and slaves under the other nations, man. They gonna take from us what they want, you know.
Right.
All because of disobedience at the end of the day. Okay. All right, let's go back to 2 Ezra 7.
Back in 2 Ezra 7, verse 12, it says, Then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. There are but fear and evil, full of perils and very painful.
All right, and we've seen that. And just look at the state of the world in the history. That bears witness to that. You know, the only time we was cool was the 40 years of peace under King Solomon.
Right.
Other than that, King David was warring, King Saul was warring when he was in power, and the other times we were just going from captivity to captivity. You know, now a lot of times we still knew we were Israelites, and you know we were so able to follow our customs to a certain degree, but we wasn't really sovereign. You know, so we was always going through travail, perils, dealing with the flesh. You know, all these different things, man, being made subject to vanity. So that's what happened, man. This world was made narrow and hard and difficult now. You know, go ahead.
Verse 13 says, For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure,
Right, that garden. Go ahead.
and brought immortal fruit. If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them.
All right, so if you're on labor, if I can get a Hebrews 4 and 11, real quick. Read that one more time out.
Come. This is back in 2 Ezra 7 and verse 14. It says, If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them.
All right, so you got to labor in this thing, man. That's doing lessons, but also it ain't just lessons. You got to labor in staying and following after the Spirit, man. You know, cutting off the flesh, that's work. Denying yourself constantly, that's work, man. You know, that's why the scripture say, be not weary in well doing, because you steady fight your demons, you steady fighting your wants, your frustrations, you fighting all these things, man. It ain't easy, you know. They talking about the simplicity in Hamashiach, but it ain't. It's simple. It's an easy rule. It's laid out, but it's not easy to do.
Right.
Otherwise, everybody be doing it, you know. That's why it's such a gift, and that's why it's so precious, because not everybody's built for it, because it has to be from on high to do it. You know. You got that?
Hebrews. Okay, start at verse 9.
Okay,
Is that cool?
Yeah.
This is Hebrews 4 and 9. There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of the Most High. For he that is entered into his rest, he also had ceased from his own works, as the Most High did from his.
Right, and that's what it is. You know the story at the beginning? Okay, on the seventh day, the Most High rested from all the works that were done. Okay? So we'll go into those same things. Read that one more time.
Come. It says, for he that is entered into his rest, he also had ceased from his own works.
Right. He that enters rest, he ceased from his works, man. But we haven't done that yet, but that's what we're laboring to do. But that's what happens when you finish your work. You rest. Or people have a retirement plan.
Yeah.
You work all those 20 to 30, 40 years, whatever, and you storing up your money. Then what do? You retire and you resting from them. And then you enjoying the fruits of your labor. You receiving it at payment every month, you know. Go ahead.
You find it ironic too, you know, just real quick if I may, that he's likening, like you just expounded on, going into the creation, and then the rest was on the seventh day. And it wasn't the Most High power that literally came down and created, but he had sent his servants to Elohim to create all that. And then they rested on the seventh day. You know, so they labored and then they rested. So if we're those powers doing it all over again, you know, in the smallest period of time, doing all this laboring just so we can experience that rest. Just as he's talking about it, he's going into this. If we're those powers that created from it. Find it ironic, you know, we could have been the ones creating and resting, and we're down here laboring and toiling so we can receive that rest again.
Same thing, bro. Those first fruits, man. Those first spirits that created with Yahushua, like the brother said, they created. So that's crazy. We're doing the same thing all over again if we maintain. You know. Go ahead.
Do a lesson. This is Hebrews 4 and 11. Let us therefore labor to enter into that rest, least for fear any man fall after the same example of unbelief.
Right, so let us labor into that rest and continue on, man. Before you fall to the same example of those unbelievers that fell out. You know, that didn't believe. Those people that was in the wilderness murmuring, you know, with no faith. You know, because that goes along with your works as well. So they was being wicked as hell. You know, so we got to continue that work and laboring so that we can enter into that rest. You know, was it it on that?
That was the main point.
Okay. All right, let's go back to second Esdras.
Second Esdras 7 and 15. It says, Now therefore, why disquietest thou thyself, seeing thou art but a corruptible man?
You know, why are you in such an uproar, seeing as you just a corruptible man? You flesh, you're not perfect, bro. So why you just heated like it's yours or something?
Right.
That's the same thing that the Most High had to get on, the Spirit had to get on Jonah about. You know, because the Most High didn't destroy or bring destruction right then when he prophesied. He was mad as hell. You think you love him more, you love me? Why you in such an uproar like you did this, man?
Yeah.
You know? Go ahead. But and Ezra was known for getting a little too zealous at times.
Yeah.
He had to reel him back in, you know?
Back in verse 15. And why art thou moved, whereas thou art but mortal?
Right. You're not even going to be here after this, so why you move? You mortal. You going to die soon, you know? Go ahead.
Verse 16. Why hast thou not considered in thy mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present?
Right, because he was really focused on the present captivity and part of his people. I mean, Ezra was mad as hell. He's like, we supposed to be the people, you know, why we going through what's going on, man?
Right.
You know? But he was already told this previously, but, you know, as this one gets 2 Ezra chapter 4, and read verse 28 to 30. The things were already explained to him, you know? Go ahead. Whoever got it? Yeah, 2 Ezra 4 and 28.
All right, come on. 2 Ezra chapter 4, verse 28. But as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee. For the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good.
Right, so that came on. So these things have to happen, man. This evil, all these things in the world, our captivities, us being shitted on, you know, catching hell, going off, all these things were sown. It was all written for the Most High's movie, you know? But he was already told that. So he's like, why are you even focusing on what's going on right now, bro? Not focusing on what I'm telling you is going to come in the end, you know? Go ahead.
Verse 30. For the grain of evil seed have been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. And how much ungodliness had it brought up unto this time? And how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing comes?
Right, time of threshing, man. Of judgment, man. Of judgment, of people being put to death, and of the elect being sick.
Yep.
Okay? So these things have to happen, man. Sometimes we get like that. You know, you so focused on the present situation, you kind of forget. Hey, bro, this is temporary. These things must be. You know, it was written. But focus on keep our focus on that prize, man. What's to come? That reward at the end of the day.
That's right.
You know? That was on that. Let's go back to 2 Ezra 7.
Like 2 Ezra 7 and 17. Then answered I and said, O Lord, that beareth rule, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous shall inherit these things, but that the ungodly should perish.
Right, that's through all this. That's through all various throughout the scriptures, man. That's even Deuteronomy 28 chapter. When you read verses 1 through 14, it says, if you do all these things what I tell you to do, you'll get all these blessings and live, and you're going to win. Verses 15 on down, if you don't listen, I'm going to tear y'all off the bone. And y'all will be put to death, destroyed, disenfranchised, all those things, man. But even so, how much more so the end times, man. So Ezra knew that. Go ahead.
Verse 18. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for wide. For they that have done wickedly have suffered these straight things, and yet shall not see the wide.
Right. Somebody get 1 Peter 2 and 19. And read that one more time, Michael.
Go ahead. 2 Ezra 7 and 18. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for wide.
Right. The righteous are going to suffer straight things and hope for wide, man. That's our hope. you know, for the kingdom, that we're not doing this in vain, that we're going to be delivered, man. And there's that word straight again, S-T-R-A-I-T. Okay, a point of difficulty. So we're going to suffer things, all these things, persecution, and all the things we mentioned, but we're going to hope for the wide, man, which is the kingdom, which is our rest. Go ahead, up.
For they that have done wickedly have suffered these straight things, and yet shall not see the wise.
Right, those that do wickedly gonna suffer the same things we go through, and they're not gonna see the wise. So, like we mentioned last night, why not do it the right way and hope for it? You gonna catch it either way. You know what I mean? You might as well fight for the right way with integrity. At least give yourself a shot. You know, because either way, that Jacob Stroke is coming, whether you wicked or righteous or not.
Right.
It's coming upon all of us. That hour of temptation is gonna hit everybody on the planet Earth. So you might as well keep fighting. You know. Who got it first, Peter?
I got it right here.
Okay.
First Peter 2:17.
2 and 19.
First Peter 2:19. But this is thankworthy if a man for conscience towards the Most High endure grief, suffering wrongfully.
Sorry, read it one more time for me.
First Peter 2 and 19. But this is thankworthy if a man for conscience towards the Most High endure grief, suffering wrongfully.
Go ahead.
For what glory is it if when ye be buffeted for your faults, ye shall take it patiently?
Right.
If
It's like it, yeah. So I'm sorry. Personally, going back to verse 19. That's thankworthy, man. A righteous man with a mind towards the Most High to suffer grief wrongfully, man. That's thankworthy. You know, the Most High will thank you for that and bless you for that because you endured that grief, but you had a mind towards Him. You know, it's like go ahead and start verse 20 for me one more time.
okay. For what glory is it if when ye be buffeted for your faults, ye shall take it patiently? But if when ye do well and suffer for it, ye take it patiently, this is acceptable with the Most High.
That's acceptable with the Most High. Doing well and taking it patiently, you know. And sometimes it happens where you buffet for your faults, you think, oh, I'm just going through. Like, nah, bro, you being an asshole, being a nigga, you know, doing whatever, you know. There's no glory in that. There's no reward in that, you know. But that's acceptable with the Most High when we're going through these things and want to enter into that straight gate, man. You know, follow that lamb in the same pathway. Okay. Hold on, that's it on that. Let's go back to second Esdras.
Second Esdras 7 and 19. And he said unto me, there is no judge above Yahweh, and none that has understanding above the highest.
Right, go ahead.
For there be many that perish in this life because they despise the law of Yahweh that is set before them.
Right, so there's going to be a lot of people that don't die, man, because of that. Okay? A lot of people going to die by death by pain because they despise the law of the Heavenly Father. You know, blaspheming, shooting up the Bible, saying F the Most High over pork. All these different things these people are walking around the earth doing, man. And they have a reward for that coming. You know? And it's going to be death by pain, utter destruction, perish, anguish. It ain't going to be no quick death. It ain't going to be no shot to the dome. He gonna let Esau freaky tail get busy, man. You know? Or whatever device he got laid out for these people. The Most High is terrible. You know?
It makes me think about Christian Jake. They so quick to steer away from the law. As soon as you mention the law, they look at you like you got three heads and like you said and done the most wickedest thing.
Yeah,
He's literally holding them by literally the words that they say.
That's it.
I got a quick precept this week. This is Psalms chapter 119, verse 126. It is time for thee, O Lord, to work, for they have made void thy law. And that work is that action. You know, so because they had disdain toward his law, he's going to judge them with no remedy.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. Actually, somebody get a second Esdras 9. Real quick. You know what I want.
What verse, bro?
You can start out with that. 9 and 9. Was it have loathed my law? Had your liberty? Yeah, she was like 8 or 9.
Go straight to it. 11. It's in 11. What you talking about?
Start at the 9.
All right, come. Second Esdras 9 and 9. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which have now abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully, so I shall dwell in torments.
Right, those have abused his ways, man. Okay, they're gonna be in pitiful case in that time, man. Go ahead.
Verse 10, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have lost my law while they had yet liberty.
Right. Right. When you loathe something and you have a complete and utter hatred for it, like you're just completely disgusted. And that's our people, man. Most of our people are just disgusted with the ways of the Heavenly Father, man. They hate the Most High, you know? Even a lot of people that call themselves Israelites, they hate the ways of the Heavenly Father, man. Their actions bear witness to that, man. But yet they had liberty. You know, they're in the time of grace, but they're using their time for liberty as occasion to the flesh, to please themselves, to backbite, to murmur, to scoff, you know, to be immature as hell. So they're using this time of grace, and they're not using it for the right time, that's what it's been given for. To get yourself right and strengthen your relationship with Yahweh Shem Yahushua. They're strengthening their relationship with themselves, man. Oh yeah?
It says, while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place they had and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood it not, but despised it.
Right, understood not, but despised it, man. That's a lot of our people, especially them Christians walking by. Oh, that was me.
Okay.
That was me. Walking by, scoffing, they'll cross the street, you know, fan their hand. That's their judgment being sealed, man. That was the Most High stretching out their hand. Go ahead, up.
Verse 12. The same must know it after death by pain.
The same gonna know about after death by pain, man. So it ain't gonna be no cakewalk. It ain't gonna be no quick death. You know, it's gonna be a painful, agonized story. You wish you were dead, but not yet. You know.
That's right, bro.
The Heavenly Father has control over that, man. You got to where Jake is getting shot in the head and still living.
Yeah.
That means he got something special for you. You know, Jake is receiving judgments that you should have been dead. Normally you've been dead, but the Most High happened to keep your spirit in your body for a greater judgment, man.
Yep.
You know, that's a scary thing to imagine, man, or to go through. What was it or not?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? All right, let's go back to 2nd Ezra.
2nd Ezra 7:21. It says, for the Most High has given straight commandments to such as came what they should do to live.
Bro, straight. Look at it. That's the straight gate.
Yeah, straight. Straight
Man.
according to man. Straight. Like, it wasn't, he didn't mix no words. None of that, man. He laid out what was supposed to be done.
Right.
Either you're going to do it or you're not. And a lot of people are not doing it. You know? Go ahead.
It says, even as they came and what they should observe to avoid punishment.
Right, what you observe to avoid punishment. Because people, like the brother Mike always say, they treat the Most High like he a genie now. Like you just rub the lamp and you get your wishes and he'll do whatever you want. You know? He ain't gonna do no judgment really. Like they really take him for a power not to be feared, man, just like a false idol.
Right.
You know? Like he's not Al-Shad, the terrible demon like power.
Right.
Like he won't get up in that eight, you know? But they're about to see that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is about to manifest himself again.
Right. That's right, bro.
You know? Go ahead. And like I said, he laid out the blueprint. And who's giving out that blueprint now? His men. If you want to avoid punishment, if you want to avoid all these things, man, this is what you need to do. And his mouthpiece is out there, man. And these people are not going to have any excuse. There is no excuse.
Just wanted to back out, like the brother said, the priest said, Shar, these Christian churches, now we're getting to a point where the Lord, he's starting to manifest and show these things. Now you got to basically go to the scripture to justify what's happening.
Right.
And now they're condemned because they don't know how to explain what's going on. Because that lets you know they don't know the scripture.
Yep.
Yeah, eventually that doctrine is going to have to match up with what's going on. And it's not. You know? Go ahead.
Verse 22, 2nd Ezra 7:22, it says, nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his ways.
Right. The scripture said the fool in our heart said there is no God, man. And these people are acting extremely foolish right now. They acting like the Most High is not going to move on them, but he's moving on people every day. So I grab Zephaniah 3 and 5 for me, Bible shot real quick.
Said 3 and 5.
God.
Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. The judge Yahweh Shem Yahushua is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doeth he bring his judgment to light. he faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame.
Right. Every morning you bring his judgment to light. Every morning we wake up, something's happening. And a lot of people are doing the same things. A lot of these people are getting killed for it, and they have no shame. They have no considerations. Like, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. You know? Maybe I should alter my lifestyle a little bit, because I see someone else doing that same thing, and they just got smoked. You know? But the people, they don't have no consideration there. They're not considering their ways at all, man. They're completely walking around engulfed in their own BS. Okay? But I said they don't know no shame, man. You know, and there's some in the scripture said that we just read that the Most High, he will not do iniquity, but people even think that the Most High is wrong, man. They take it to the point to where they completely don't agree with how the Most High is showing out judgment, man. Because they so in their feelings and have so much pride. You had something?
This a quick one. This is Isaiah 45, verse 4. It says, "For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel my elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me." And that was just a quick one to let you know, our people, they try to say, my Lord, or when something happened, they always say, thank you, Lord, or look for the Lord to deliver them in some type of way, but they have not known them. But they always say they know them.
Right. Bunch of hypocrites. Yep. Okay, let's go back to the second address.
Back to 2nd Ezra 7, verse 24. It says, "But his laws have they despised and denied his covenants, and his statutes have they not been faithful, and have not performed his work."
All right, so we haven't abided by the covenants that he made with us, man. The law of Moses, even the covenant that he gave us of the rainbow. Jake, that's a symbol of the LGBT community. Jake is happily wearing a rainbow flag for that.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, they're misusing the hell out of that covenant. That's a covenant he made. So I won't flood the earth and smack y'all no more that way.
Yeah, bro. Man, I had I got a keychain, and one of the brothers gave me one, the Hawaii one with a rainbow on it, bro. And I was wearing it. Then I had to take it off. Just because of how somebody could have looked at me or something like that. And it's a damn shame.
Right, that's a beautiful thing to rock that. But now it's only perceived. There's no one ever talks about how that's a covenant of the rainbow, of how he made that covenant with Noah. Now that is strictly 100% LGBT all the way. Misuse the hell out of this covenant, man. It's a damn shame, but that's okay. That's all right. All that stuff is gonna start real soon. Sooner than these people think. Go ahead, Al.
Back to 2nd Ezra 7:25. "And therefore, Esdras, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are the full things."
Right, so for empty, that's vain. Vain and nothing for naught. That's for them, man. You want to have a vain lifestyle, you're not gonna really get anything out of it, man. You gonna get this little vain glory on this side of this vain ass kingdom, and then you're gonna perish right along with it. But those that are full, those are full things, man. That's for them, for the elect. Those things are substance. A substance with the spirit you have by Shemel Shai, you're gonna receive substance. Those things are for you. Everyone's got a reward at the end of the day.
Got a precept real quick.
Okay.
This is Revelation 22:11. It says, "He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. He which is filthy, let him be filthy still. He that is righteous, let him be righteous still. He that is holy, let him be holy still." Full things and empty things. It's already set up to who's going to be who, regardless. They're going to fulfill that lot.
That's right. That's right. And that's why we're not worried about everybody.
That's right.
We're out there trying to save everybody. We can't even save ourselves. But we out there. Our objective is for waking up the elect. We don't know who they are. We're just casting out the elect, the net for the elect, and then hoping that just in the Most High's time, He's gonna bring in those the full for the full. That's it. Everyone else, if you ain't into it, bye. That's fine. Some days you just prophesy to the wind. Some days nobody will stop looking at the signs.
Right.
And that's okay. That vibration, the spirit is still going out. It's being pushed into the earth. That's right. And that word is changing things, man. That's another thing that's wrong with our people, man. They don't think just this word has power, man. This word has weight.
Right.
That's why Paul said, "I come into you word and power, man." These words that we're speaking have a lot of weight. They look like we ain't doing nothing, but that's okay. That's why everybody's still asleep. Most I want it that way.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Hey, if I can say this, Kahan, you notice there's been a lot of different camps that's been rising. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them have like a lot of followings too. Like you see one camp, like Sons of Thunder, they got like 34,000 people following. So that's what a lot of these people they're not teaching about Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are waking up. They're waking up for their destruction.
Right, they're waking up saying empty, man. You know, taking them all over there for that destruction. That's right, bro. Go ahead.
It's back 2nd Ezra 7:26. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, and she coming forth shall be seen, that now is withdrawn from the earth.
Right, and we know who that bride is. That bride is Israel. Okay. Somebody get Revelation 21. I think he was already in Revelation.
Yeah, Khan, that's the guy I actually.
Okay, or whoever get there first. Revelation 21 and read verse 2 and verse 9.
I got it.
Okay.
The book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 2. It says, "And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
Right.
And I heard a great voice out of the heaven."
That's New Jerusalem, man. That's proving who their bride is. That's the elect coming out of being beamed up from destruction, coming back down, okay, to judge and to rule, okay, and to purge out the rebels, man, okay. So that's a precept to prove it out. And jump to verse 9, just to prove again who their bride is.
God. And it says, this is Revelation chapter 21, verse 9, and it says, "And there came unto me one of 7 angels, which had the 7 vials full of 7 last plagues, or full of the 7 last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show thee the bride, the Lamb's wife."
The Lamb's wife, man, and we know who that Lamb is. That's Yahweh Shai. You know, Father Lamb, whithersoever is he goeth, the Lamb being slain from the foundation of the earth. We're the bride of Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, so that proves who that bride is. Okay, that's talking about, when you read up top, that's talking about Jerusalem, Israel, man. So these Christians obviously don't read the Bible. And when they read it, they don't have any understanding of it at all. You know. That was in that. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 7.
2nd Ezra 7:27. See, it reads, "And whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evils shall see my wonders."
Right, so whoever delivered, and that's talking about the elect, obviously. Go ahead.
"For my son Yahweh Shai shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years."
Right, so because Ezra's around here around the Medo-Persian Empire, the captivity. So he lived around the 4th century BC. So this is a prophecy of Yahweh Shai hitting the scene in the Roman captivity.
God.
And it shows you how valid the Apocrypha as well. It mentions Yahweh Shai's coming, man.
That's right.
It prophesied Yahweh
That's
Shai,
right.
man.
That's right. That's right.
You know?
This is literally the only book we have in the Old Testament that mentions Yahweh Shai's name right there as being the Messiah, bro.
Right.
The only one, bro. You know, it makes more sense when an angel came to Mary and was like, call his name Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
He should be a prince and a savior.
Right.
Anybody can talk mess about the Apocrypha, but we have the validity of it right here.
That's right.
You know?
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 29. "After these years shall my son Mashiach die, and all men that have life."
Right, so Yahweh Shai went on the cross, sacrificed himself for the elect, but also the men after him. You know, all the apostles died, man. The only one that died, all of them were executed in some fashion, except for John the Revelator. Okay, he died in old age on the Isle of Patmos, but everyone else died, man. How do we know that? Matthew 19:27. He asked, "What shall we get?" He said, "In regeneration, you shall get everything." So they all passed, man.
God, that word, if I may, that word life right there, that's talking about the people that were quickened, that followed Yahweh Shai. Right?
Yep, that's right. They were brought to life. Exactly. Come on.
I got a quick precept. That's
Okay.
cool. This Colossians chapter 3, I'm going to start at verse 1, I'm sorry. "If ye then be risen with Hamashiach, seek those things which are above, for which Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of the Most High. Set your affections on things above, and not on things on earth, for ye are dead, and your life is hid with Hamashiach in the Most High." So all men that have life may die, but we're living through Yahweh Shai, but in this flesh, we die daily.
Right.
You
That's
know?
right. You die daily. That's it. You know. Go ahead. Let's do that. Sure. Okay. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra.
2nd Ezra 7:30. And the world shall be turned into the old silent 7 days, like as in the former judgment.
Right, so the world will be turned into old silence 7 days. So after Yahushua died, what? We had a falling away. Okay? So the 7 days is completion. So it went back into silence in the former judgments because Yahushua died. The men that were teaching under him eventually died. And then what? We fell away again. That's when we went to the Byzantine Empire, Empire of the Moors. The Constantine, they went from a pagan Roman Empire to the Holy Roman Empire. Where they started Roman Catholicism, incorporated all these pagan traditions into the scriptures and these different councils. And Jacob was just going off, Then we had the Renaissance period, where Esau came back into power. Then we went into slavery, man. So we had that falling away again. Go ahead.
It says in verse 30, it says, so that no man shall remain.
So no man shall remain, man. So we fell away. Okay. But I was real quick. Somebody get Judges 2 and 16. Because it's always been like that. We had a judge come up, restore us to our glory, and after he died, what happened? We fell away again. So that's been our MO. So and that's the same thing that happened with Yahushua. But whoever got it, Judges 2 and 16.
I got it. 2 and 16.
Yeah, and read down to 21. So it's just an example of that. Go ahead.
Comments. Book of Judges, chapter 2, verse 16. It says, nevertheless, the Lord raised up judges who delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them. And yet they would not hearken unto their judges, but they went a whoring after the other gods, and bowed themselves unto them. They turned quickly out of the way which their fathers walked in, obeying the commandments of the Lord Yahweh, but they did not so. And when the Lord raised them up judges, then the Lord was with the judge and delivered them out of the hand of their enemies.
Right, he delivered the judge and delivered out of the hand of their enemies. Go ahead.
All the days of the judge, for it repented the Lord because of their groanings by reason of them that oppressed them and vexed them.
That's it. That's all it's in. And when you read the book of Judges, that's all that happened. They could get themselves in the pickle, crying to Heavenly Father, apologizing. He'll send a judge to deliver them. After that judge will pass, back the same old song again.
God.
It said all the days of that judge, bro. So when that judge was there doing it, the Lord was with him. The Lord is with us today, bro. We the judges today, man. So the Lord is going to be with us until this is it. It's just, man, just
I may say too, it also goes back whenever we were in the land of Egypt too, when Joseph was ruling. When Joseph was ruling and everything like that, and then after, after the Pharaoh passed that knew of Israel like that, everything just went back to madness.
Captivity. Yep.
Yeah.
That's when because he was a Pharaoh that didn't know Joseph. So he man.
And then that's when they start putting hell on Jacob.
Yep. So it's the same old thing over and over throughout the captivity. And that's what happened now in this prophecy. After Yahushua died, the apostles died, same old thing. They start going off again. So but that was also a prophecy as well. Because Paul prophesied in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, there's just going to be a falling away. So, but this time, we fell away hard. Like, we don't even know who we are at this point. We was in everything under the sun but Israel. Go ahead, Doc. Back in 2nd Ezra.
2nd Ezra 7 and 31. And after 7 days, the world that yet awakened not shall be raised up, and that shall die that is corrupt.
Right, and that world been raised up. Somebody get Isaiah 52 and 1. And this is what we're coming into, man.
That's right.
Okay. Like I said, that 7 is completion. But now we're being raised up. We're awakening back to who we are. And there's various examples of that. Somebody can also hold Revelation 8, 11, and 9. Or you can start at 8. But we can start Isaiah 52, 1 first.
I got it. Let somebody else get done. Alright, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 52, verse 1. And it says, Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. Put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come into thee
the uncircumcised.
Right, so that's what we're coming to right now. Jake is awake, is waking up, man.
Right.
We're pulling on our beautiful garments, which those beautiful garments is what? Our righteousness, the spirit. You know? Other camps think that beautiful garments is these colorful, color coordinated, matching starburst garments. You know? But on the inside, they're dead men's bones, you know? But those real righteous garments is the spirit. Somebody got that revelation? Okay, go ahead. All right. You can start at 8, 11 and 8.
Revelation chapter 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
All right, we know that's here in America now. Okay? Jake is walking around being spiritually dead because they wanted out of the way to understand this, so they're going to remain in the congregation of the dead, according to Proverbs 21:16. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 9. And they of the people in kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves.
All right, so that's 350 years. The world is looking at us in captivity, getting the meat off our backs, and not doing anything about it. They're not telling us who we are. No one came to our aid because it was a confederacy of one of the other nations. They was happy.
Right.
You know? They was with it, man. You know? And being put in dead graves, that when you bury somebody, what they say, you lay them to rest. So we ain't had no rest, man. We were taking L after L. You know? Go ahead.
Verse 10. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth.
Right, there you go. They celebrated, man, because when we were on top, we was giving them nations hells. We were dominating.
Right.
You know, we was in league with our power. Couldn't nobody mess with us.
Right.
And the nations knew that. Example that you can read in the book of Jude, the 5th chapter. Okay, when Achior was speaking to Eliphanes, he was like, man, the way to get these people is you got to separate them from their power.
Yep.
That's where you can take them down. But if they with their power, bro, you gonna get steamrolled. There ain't nothing you can do about it, you know?
Right.
And they always was aware of that.
That's
You
right.
know, and Esau's aware of that today, man.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
If I just real quick, that's how it was when David was in power, bro. When David was in power, like literally when he was in power, right before he committed adultery, you know what I'm saying? But every time they had war, we had war with the nation, they would get obliterated, bro. Like it says, the Lord was with David in the house of David, and his whole life for real. Even when he went off,
Right.
the Lord was with him. But when the Lord is with his men, like right now, bro, we only gonna win. You know?
That's it. Keep going on that. Go on.
What you want?
Read.
Revelation
Revelation 11 and verse 10.
Revelations 11 and 10. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth.
Keep going.
Verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood on their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them.
Right, and that's it, man. That's the time we're coming to, according to this prophecy, man. We're standing upon their feet, and great fear is coming upon these people, man. Upon Esau, these other nations. Because they see they don't have a hold upon us anymore.
Right.
You see, nothing they're doing is working, man. Satan can't deceive us anymore.
Right.
You know, the enchantments ain't working. And these people are scared, man. Like we always going to. They panicking. These Christians are panicking. They trying everything, man. And it ain't working. That's it on that. Let's go back to Second Ezra. Was there any more on that particular verse? Or?
Not over, bro.
Okay. All right, let's go back.
Like in 2 Ezra 7, verse 32, it says, and the earth shall restore those that are asleep in her, and so shall the dust those that dwell in silence, and in the secret places shall deliver those souls that were committed unto them.
All right, somebody grab Daniel 12 and 1. And then read that one more time, a little slower.
Done. 2 Ezra 7 and 32. And the earth shall restore those that are asleep in her, and so shall the dust those that dwell in silence.
All right, stop right there. Read Daniel 12, verse 1 and 2.
This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation,
even to that same time.
Right, so we're talking about the time where Jacob's trouble and that time of the tribulation is coming. You know, Michael's going to be right there with us. Go ahead.
Come. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered. Every one that shall be found written in the book.
Those that be found written in the book.
Written in the book.
Go ahead.
And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
Right, so that's what we're coming into. People on earth, that's a waking up now, okay? Some to everlasting life, and some are going to come and say they're Israelites, but they're not going to be chosen. They're going to be called,
Great.
they're not chosen, you know? And then they're going to be put out on Front Street, man, to be revealed to that the Most High wasn't dealing with them, and then they're going to have the everlasting contempt. All the way into the kingdom, like, yeah, you was that whole ass nigga. You was that selfish guy. You was all about it, you know, about yourself, you know? So not everybody's waking up calling themselves Israelites is going to make it, saying, Lord, Lord, you know? Was that on verse 2?
Yeah, that was it on verse.
Okay, go back.
Back in the middle of 2nd Ezra 7 and 32, and it reads, "And the secret places shall deliver those souls that were committed unto them."
Okay, and we're in those secret places, man. In the heavens, that's where the doctrine is from. Okay, the scripture say we sit in those heavenly places. I believe that's in Ephesians. You know, so sit in those places, man, with that doctrine. Because the secret, if you have a secret, not everyone's gonna know that. And what that's his understanding. Okay, from the Holy Spirit from on high. And so, and those that were committed unto, and those that are found written in the book in life, is going to be delivered because they were committed unto it, chosen from the foundation of the earth. You got a precept? Okay, go ahead.
This is Sirach 27, verse 29. It says, "They that rejoice at the fall of the righteous shall be taken in a snare, and anguish shall consume them before they die. Malice and wrath, even these are the abominations, and the sinful man shall have them both." And like I said, we should be rejoicing because when things come like Jacob's trouble come, everything is going to be brought to light, and wrath going to come upon earth. But if I can read verse 8, this is Sirach 27 and 8. It says, "If thou followest righteousness, thou shalt obtain her, and put her on as a glorious long robe. The birds will restore unto their like, so will truth return unto them that practice in her." So that truth is going to come back to, upon the earth, because, you know what I'm saying, the Son of Man is coming to deliver the elect.
And so come those that practice it, like I said, be in those secret places, man.
Yeah, it can't be touched. It can't. Esau can't fuck with it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he say he can't sack it this time. That spiritual temple.
Yeah.
All right, bro. You can't burn it. You can't kick the door down. Nothing, bro. It's intangible. You know.
Hurt not the oil nor the wine.
That's it, man. That's on that precept. All right, go ahead back to 2nd Ezra.
Back to 2nd Ezra.
We're going to go to 35 minutes.
2nd Ezra 7 and 33. It says, "And the Most High shall appear upon the seat of judgment, and misery shall pass away, and the long suffering shall have an end."
Right, so he's on the seat of judgment, man. He's going to send you help shot back. Somebody get us 2 Corinthians 5 and 10, and also Revelation 21 and 4.
I'll get 2 Corinthians.
I got Revelation.
Okay, get 2 Corinthians first. Baksha.
Okay, so I can. There it is, 5 and 10.
Right, because he's going to send you help shot back. The Most High is the king. He doesn't have to do anything. He's just directing. Go ahead.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 10, and it reads, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Yahushua or Hamashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he hath done, whether it be good or bad."
Right, so he's coming to bring that reward, man, because he's the express image of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. So he's coming back to bring reward, because Yahweh is that judgment seat. Okay? And then when he comes, he's going to bring reward for the wicked. They're going to be destroyed. And then the good are going to receive those palms and be delivered, man. And then that's when misery, it says misery shall pass away, man. Let's get that in Revelation 21.
Revelation 21 and 4. "And God shall wipe away all the tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away."
Right, those things are going to pass away, man. That misery, that anguish, that unsurety, You know, the selfish, all those things are gonna go, and the wife Most High's gonna wipe those tears away with sighing and crying. And that's what we out there doing right now. We out there sighing and crying, knowing we need help. We groaning, bro. We need help, shot. We all need help, bro. The longer you just think, the more you realize you like, I need help. I am just through. I can't fix it. You know.
Why you how about you know shining under the law?
Yeah.
There's no way to be justified.
Yeah. Bro. Killed many times over. You know, kill him, bring him back to like kill him again, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That type of shit.
Straight up.
Yeah.
I got a precept.
Okay. What?
This is Revelation chapter 7, verse 15. Therefore are they before the throne of the Most High. They serve him day and night in his temple. And he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. And they shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat. For the Lord, for the Lamb, which is in the midst of the throne, shall feed them, and shall lead them into living fountains of water, and the Most High shall wipe away all their tears from their eyes.
And that's an example of the, thank the Most High, we're not under the law no more. You know what I'm saying? But when Yahweh comes back, because really that's going into the curses of the law. You know, you shall be in hunger and nakedness and such. When Yahweh comes back, we ain't going to be in that state no more. Under the curse of the law, I should say. You know, just wanted to bring that precept out there. Back to y'all's precepts.
Well, go ahead, back to the second Ezra, bro.
Second Ezra 7 and 34. It says, but the judgment only shall remain. Truth shall stand, and faith shall wax strong.
Right. That's what we're seeing. Faith is waxing strong right now. And it's going to continue on, man. And only the judgment shall stand in that time, you know?
That's right.
Go ahead. The truth is going to be made manifest. All these lies going to be swallowed up. All these different things, man. And from that time on to the time of the kingdom. Go ahead.
Verse 35. And the work shall follow, and the reward shall be shewed.
Right, the work shall follow, man. Because what Scripture say, faith without works is dead.
Great, bro.
So it starts with that faith, and that faith is going to move you to action.
Great point, bro.
And that's what we're into. And that work is going to follow. Go ahead.
And the good deeds shall be of force, and wicked deeds shall be no rule.
Right.
Bear no rules.
Right. So like I said, it said the reward shall be showed, and so he's gonna reward his servants, the prophets, for their works and for their faith. Then the good deeds are gonna be a force, man. It's actually gonna hold. It holds weight now in the spirit, but it's gonna hold a lot more weight physically as it plays out on the planet Earth. And these wicked deeds, man, shit ain't gonna be out. It's not gonna bear any rule, have no control, man. They're gonna lose at the end of the day. Everyone that had wicked works, wicked deeds, starting with Esau on down to 2/3, it's not gonna bear any rule. It's not gonna have any weight, man. You know, we're gonna overcome all that. You know, that's what Scripture talks about, overcoming death. We're gonna be able to overcome. You know, with our works and our faith. But that's where we're gonna stop right there. Like I said, because there's still 35 more verses. But just want to do that first half for now. And then Lord willing, we'll do the last half whenever I teach class again. But did anybody have any other points or precepts or anything? All right, with that, hey, Lord willing, was edifying for Akion. I'm gonna say, call law.
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakakadash.
Double honor to your apostles and elders of great millstone, rule well through the spirit. Peace and blessings to the whole for elect. Shalom.
Shalom.
Great lesson, okay. Absolutely.
Call on you,